Let's have a look at one of these chargers. I've just plugged it in. Put that there. Let's see if we've got any voltage coming out of these two posts. Apparently not. It's definitely on 20 volts. Nothing. It's turned on, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely turned on. But there's nothing coming out of there at all. Let's try this one instead. It's turned on. Oh, it mentions there plus and minus. Didn't notice that before. So this is plus. That's minus. Well, I wasn't expecting that. 11.62 volts. That seems a bit on the excessive side. Let's try this one. See what we get with this one. Oh, 11.5 volts. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't realise they went at such a high voltage. I thought they were more like 7 volts, but perhaps it's because there's no load. Right, well, let's have a look inside this charger, because it seems odd that this one doesn't work, so we'll use a different Bosch tool to undo this one, the Bosch Ixo. So how does this come apart? Nope. Like that, you pull. That comes off. Ooh. That is looking a bit green. Transformer. So there's not really anything in it, is there? I mean, we've got 240 volts coming in, we've got a transformer that's putting out somewhere around about 12 volts presumably, and then this 1, 2, 3, 4 diodes, so that's a bridge rectifier, that's to smooth whatever's coming out of here, voltage, so we've got a bad connection in here probably. So if we take this, see what we've got with this circuit board. Are we going to find... Oh, look! That's what we're going to find. Lots of corrosion. This has been wet. So, we need this. Crikey, that's a tight fit to come out. No, the corrosion didn't get there, so it looks like when that was sitting there, someone spilt something on it and it went straight down the contacts, straight into there. And all this bluey green stuff is almost certainly copper traces. God, that's a tight fit in there, and so is that. But so that goes through there. They certainly didn't want you to pull this out by accident, did they? Look at that. Alright, so that's got to stay there. That can come out of there. Right, now I've got a choice. I can unsolder that, or I can unscrew the plug. Let's have a look at the plug. We'll have a quick look at the plug. I'd already checked the fuse, so I know the fuse is okay. So if we... Oh, mind you, that's not going to pull. Oh, I bet that's moulded on, isn't it? So that is not going to go through there. So no, you can't actually just undo the plug. Right, so that's no good then. So we can't do it that way around. So if we want to separate these, we've got to unsolder that. And I think I'm going to have to separate these, aren't I? Because really this is all going to need a good clean. Let's turn the soldering iron on. I'm pretty sure it's not going to matter which one of these is the live and which is the neutral, but I'll mark that one as a reminder that that's the way they were anyway. But I don't think the transformer will care one way or another. And then it looks like we might want to unsolder this to give it a good clean, because I don't really want any cleaning products next to the transformer. And then once that's unsoldered, we can pull all that out and we should be okay to go. Right, soldering iron's hot. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice and easy. Right, so that's our power inputs. That's our live and neutral from the mains into this. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be a tight fit in there. Crikey. That's that out. And then I think the best way to clean this is the same. Now these are two probably 12 volt AC wires, so it doesn't matter which way round they go. Solder still doesn't want to melt. Oh, there we go, finally got it. Right, that's melted. Let's try the one next to it. Come on, it's starting to melt. There we go, it's melted. Right. I've just noticed as I was lifting this up, look, that's completely snapped off. And I think, well, I'm not sure actually. Yeah, no, it must have gone there, mustn't it? It was there. I think that's, it looks like it's a diode. I'm not quite sure what that one's doing there, because we've got 4 diodes there, which are almost certainly the bridge rectifier there, and then that would be for smoothing. So I'm not quite sure what that one's for, unless it's something to do with the possibility of you putting, could it be to stop backfeeding if somebody puts the tool in the wrong? I don't know. I mean, you'd think it might be something to stop the battery backfeeding into here. Oh yes, I bet that's what it is. This is to stop the battery backfeeding into here if you leave this on charge. So you leave this on charge and then you turn it off and you forget. But the battery is not going to drain itself back through into here, because that will act as a blocking diode. I bet that's what that's for. And so I guess the final power output from these and this have to go through here to get to one of these terminals, and that's why we've got nothing coming out, because that is broken. I don't know if we can find out what. I'm guessing that diode is probably exactly the same as these diodes. The problem is I can't see any markings on them. I mean, I can see some strange markings on them, but nothing that involves anything to do with numbers. It looks like a, well, I don't know, like a sort of pattern from. No, well, I'll have to get it under the microscope and have a look. Unfortunately, I can't show you under the microscope because I haven't got one that I can video from. Right, well, I'm going to clean this up. I need to find a little brush to do that with. I think given the state of it, just a brass brush will help a little bit. So we could just give that a good going over with a, this is just a brass brush. Yep, that's cleaning that up nicely. I mean, a brass brush is a little bit coarse for this sort of thing, but it will take off the corrosion pretty quick. And you can see there's a fair bit of corrosion in there, actually on the contacts there. But they, at this point, don't make any contact with anything, but of course, around here, they do. I can't get into this part with a brush, so we'll have to use something a bit smaller, perhaps a toothbrush or something. And that looks okay. Might consider taking those out to clean them a bit better. Oh, I found a little Dremel style brush like that, and I think that'll help me get into the tight spaces on here. Again, it's just alcohol. Yeah, I don't know how well it shows up on there, but that's really taken all those sort of green crusty bits off. If I can get that into there as well. I think these contacts are probably okay. There's a small amount of corrosion under here, but I don't think that's going to affect anything, so they can probably be alright like that. This side of it, these are the bits that make contact to do the charging. They seem to have survived reasonably well. There's a little bit of tarnishing, but I don't think that's going to make a big difference. The alcohol, by the way, it's just isopropyl alcohol. It's nothing special. I mean, you could use methylated spirits, something like that. It just helps clean. I mean, it's quite good at that sort of thing. I don't know if this is going to make a difference or not, but I've got the camera looking through a magnifying glass. I'll find out when I get to look at it, but I need to get that diode there out. That looks like where it's snapped off. But I might not be able to do this under the microscope because it looks like I'm going to need about 10 hands. Oh no, oh, it is slowly melting, so maybe I can get that to go. But that's sort of like the broken leg of the diode, but it's not really wanting to melt. So there. I don't know if you can see that. I've got it in my hand. There it is, that's the broken part. So it must be, the other part must be under there, I think. Right, that's what I took out, and this is what I found in amongst the stock of old desoldered components that I've got lying around. It's similar, very slightly bigger maybe, but I'm going to try soldering that in and see what happens. Right, if my memory's working correctly, that should go in there and that should go down there, and it's virtually an exact fit. I mean, when you look at it, it sits perfectly in there, and the legs are perfect length there, so I've no idea what I took this component from, but it looks like it should be ideal. I think I've got it in the right way around, so all I need to do now is solder it in. I don't know how much you'll be able to see of this, but that's one leg just there, and then this is the other one. according to the markets on the circuit board here and here, it seems to imply that that one and that one are AC and that the diode goes here, so I soldered it in the wrong place according to the markings on the circuit board. So I've just moved the diode over to there, and now I'm going to solder it in there, and then I'll put our two AC input wires there. Now I think I understand where my confusion came in now. It looks like this track that comes across here to here, which is to the capacitor, all this section of it is eaten away, and I can't see the connection across to this piece, and then this goes along here and branches off over there, but it should also, by the looks of things, go across here to the leg of the diode, and it doesn't. There's no track there, that's been eaten away as well. So there's a big piece of track missing here, and there's a big piece of track missing here, so this does not join this, and this does not join that. So I need a wire from here to there so it can continue on round here, and then I need a wire from here to there so I can get power to the diode. Right, that's the leg of the diode. This is a small piece of copper wire. It probably would have been better just to change the diode and bring the leg of the diode through, but never mind, we'll just do it like this for now. Right, that's on the leg of the diode at the moment, and what we need it to do is to stick to this bit along here, so we need a little bit of solder there, and then we need that just to stick there like that. And now this needs to turn round a bit of plastic can come off the end, so this needs to turn round and go to that solder there like that, and then if that solders onto there, we should have a complete circuit again. But I'll believe that when I've seen it working. Well, that's our transformer wires in place, so we just need to solder them on. That's that one. That's that one. I'm not going to put these on properly at the moment because they'll have to go back on later anyway, so I'll just gently tack that one there. I think the red spot is where we had the live, not that it really matters with a transformer, but still. Right, now we've just got to remember when we plug this in that this is a live, so we don't want to go near that end. And this end, we want to know, will we get 11.5 volts? So we'll set that on. That on there, that's on 20, sorry, so that should read 12 okay. So we've still got nothing coming out of that end. Possibly we've got a diode in the wrong way round, or we've still got a wiring fault. Have we got AC coming out of this side? On again. We're on AC. Yes, according to this, we've got AC coming out of this side. Look, we've got 8.8 volts coming out of there, AC. Let's try again. I've turned the diode round. Bingo, 11.8. And of course, once there's a battery attached to that, it probably will drop down to about 7 volts. So we're working. Fixed. Alright, this is the bottom of the charger. You can see it's all been washed and scrubbed in hot soapy water, and well, it looks as good as new basically. Right, this fits in here somehow. Those must go through that gap there. That must sit down in there somehow. This must go in here. I think it had a little screw holding it in there in place, so that was there. We'll just do this by hand because more chance the electric screwdriver will just crush it, I should think. Right, that's in there. Right, now we've just got to work out how this went in, because this came up through there, but it did a whole lot of wiggly pigglying all the way around all this lot here, didn't it? So I'll have too much through for now. Maybe that was how it went, something like that perhaps. Could that have been it? That probably was it, wasn't it? And then back off round there. But all we care about at the moment is getting these in here. Right, that one's now open a little bit, so we should be able to poke that. Come on, in you go. Right, in there like that. Come back and put a drop of solder on it in a minute. Oh, this one's a bit of a mess. Oh, let's get rid of that. And we should be able to put that one into there like that, in there like that, to stop it being pulled on. That went down there like that. Let's just plug that down. That can be pulled a little bit, won't hurt, like that. Alright, and then this went through there like that, and then that's it. This is the top, which again you can see now looks like new, having been scrubbed and cleaned. That's down tight. Just need to make sure the terminals poke through there, which they do. And now we've just got to get the whole thing to close. Get that out of the way. Bingo, and it does. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. I've got this set on its lowest torque setting, so it acts almost like it's got a flat battery, because whenever it thinks it's getting tight it will stop. There you go. So it's quite handy, but it still over torques sometimes. Right, there we are. Let's do one more test. Plug that in, get the meter, volts. Let's just check. There we are, and it should be the other way around. 11 and a half, somewhere around that, 11.375, something like that. But we've got a reasonable voltage. So all working, all cleaned, good as new.